Hello, everyone. This game is from round four of the FIDE Grand Prix tournament. And with the white pieces, GM Levon Aronian. With the black pieces, Grandmaster Anish Giri. Knight f3 from Aronian. He's been playing a lot of English type openings lately and been winning a lot of games. G6, Knight c3. I'm looking forward to Aronian playing in the candidates tournament, actually. He's in excellent form right now. D5. And what's great about the English is it favors these English setups. Is it favors experienced players. You know, a lot of older players usually gravitate to the English because there's a lot of transpositional possibilities. You can wind up in almost anything out of the English. Queen's Gambit declines, Slavs, Nemzo Indians, Grunfelds, and it favors the player with a great understanding. So D3, Bishop G7, and Aronian just shifts it to like positional water. So now you just have like a regular position. G3, C5, H4. So it's nothing to write home about. It's just a chess position, and this is what a lot of players play the English for. All right, you kind of avoid a lot of preparation, and then you got a position, and now you guys can just play chess. Knight c6, h5. So bold play by Aronian. He's just going straight for the jugular, straight for the king side attack. Gary trades. B takes c3. This strengthens white center somewhat. I don't know if knight takes c3 was necessary, but bishop g4 just developing another piece. And then it's kind of forces white to commit. And this looks pretty normal to me. But knight takes c3, b takes c3, and now c4 takes. So now the h file is open for white. Pressure on the center. Knight a5, and now d4. So I feel that this exchange knight takes c3, although it's pretty normal, because I feel that Gary is going for a familiar type of position, and that's your instinct. You know, you don't want to be in uncomfortable territory at the chessboard. You want to look for structures and positions that you know. And it looks like he's going for like a Grunfeld type position. So he makes a trade on c3, and he's going to let Aronian get the big center and then try to counterattack it. All right, so he's kind of trying to apply this Grunfeld strategy to the this problem that Aronian is posing. So b6, bishop g2, bishop b7. The queen comes back, and this is fighting for e4. Fighting for e4 again with the queen now. Fighting for e4 again. Now the bishop, now there's a fight here. Gary has to draw back, and there's e4. So we see who won that battle. e5 now, and d5. All right, so I feel the opening is going in white's favor. White, let's just analyze this position. Of course, the material is equal, so nobody's down material. Nobody's getting checkmated here. The kings are pretty safe. Yeah, black is castled, but we can't say that his king is any safer than the white king, which is uncastled. So don't get caught into that, thinking, oh, if you're castled, you're safe. Sometimes you can be castled and unsafe. Going on, you look for some open lines. Okay, there's one right there. It's nice diagonal. From c1 to h6 that white is sitting on. Of course, let's not avoid the elephant in the room. We got the h file open. So not that black is getting mated right here, but he's castled. But I would say that I'd rather be the white king in this position as far as safety is concerned. All right. Looking at the pawns, I like this passed pawn right here, d5. Great for the end game. Um, Black will have to spend resources to blockade it if it ever got that far. All right. Um, White on his part has to be cognizant of this square. This is a weak square. All right. But right now this knight is misplaced. This knight needs to come back here, come to c5, and then here to exploit this square. Of course, that takes 3 moves, 3 or 4 moves at least. So it takes time. All right. Same with this square. This square is a little weak, but there's no. It's not really weak because white has no realistic chance of even exploiting that at all. All right. Another consideration is this diagonal right here. Very important diagonal. All right. White has an ideal setup here because it's hard for black to achieve counterplay. He really has no counterplay on the queen side. After all, he's not gonna play, b5 or a6, b5, b4 anytime soon, and he has trouble playing f4. Excuse me, f5. Okay, difficult to play that move because this knight is here and you have the queen here and this pawn here. All right, so black is kind of lacking like any kind of real counterplay. All right. So again, we're gonna give white the advantage. Is it a huge winning advantage? No, but white has the advantage. His pieces are a little better coordinated. He has a little bit more space. Has a nice pass pawn, and he has some attacking chances on the king side. And this is important. Like I said, these open lines are very important. Let's see what happened. So these factors are what affects Aronian's decision. So now you see this move bishop c8. Why bishop c8? Well, Giri knows his knight is bad. All right, he would love to do that if given time. Okay, but remember, black has moves too, and I just told you also that it's hard for black to generate any counterplay. So with all this in mind, Aronian comes up with the plan, right? Basing it on these factors, the open line, and better pieces to go after the king. This explains the next move, f4. And again, f4, right? King right in the middle of the board, but again, black cannot get to him. So f4 is played. Gary plays queen e7, and now this move. I didn't really like this move too much. It seemed like Gary wants to keep the position like more closed, or I don't know what he was trying to do, because it can't be he can't be planning on playing that move now, because Aronian could just simply play f5. I think here, at least for the sake of generating counterplay, you got to play this move. Okay, you got to make it somewhat double-edged, because now it seems that the play is more one-sided. White kind of just gets to do what he wants to do. At least opening up the this diagonal for the bishop and being able to use this square and be able to attack down the e file. At least there's some type of back and forth play going on. So for example, g takes f4. We can reorganize this knight b7. This is a funky move. Just castle queen side. Maybe this guy comes here, right? Queen b8. Just making some sample moves. Bishop e3. Let's chuck the knight in there. Knight c5. So you can see at least there's some type of counterplay going on. Like black is fighting back. Right, he's not just getting, white has an advantage here, but at least he's fighting back. And say, black, it's a natural move to want to keep that knight from coming here. And black has a choice, trying to get real dynamic and open up the b file for the rook. Right, And if you don't want to do that, you can always, take the safer route with the queen. But the point is that at least it's not just one-sided play. So after queen e7, this f5 happens, and perhaps Giri was trying to stop, or not stop, but try to keep white from castling queenside. But now after f5, and actually I don't even think he was trying to stop white from castling queenside, but I think what he did was miscalculated, and he's basing everything on this move g5, keeping the position closed here, with the idea of knight f3 and then playing a move like f6. All right, now white's still better, but Gary's trying to draw here, basically. Just trying to hold on, keep the position locked. But Aronian played a great move. He just played queen d1, and he just wants to attack on the king side. G takes, rook takes h4, and now rook d8. Very risky continuation. Now, if f6, right, trying to get the king out real quick. And then if queen h5, that rook f7 is possible, and then you try to slide the king out this way. So then maybe queen g6, knight b7, rook h7, knight c5, and here's a good move to bishop h6. And play is like very double-edged here, but white is better. So Giri instead played rook d8. He wants to try to make that escape, start running. Queen h5. And now Giri plays king f8, so he sticks with this plan. Another idea is rook d6, with the idea of covering this sixth rank right here, but it will fail after queen h7 check, king f8, and rook g4. Then how do you protect this guy, right? If you try queen f6, then you get hit in the mouth with bishop g6. And that's right, there's nowhere for the queen to go. So queen h5, king f8, and now rook g4. Now this move right here, I'm not sure it's the most accurate move right here. Queen g4 perhaps is a little better, right? And now of course the king can't move because of simply queen takes g7. All right, and then so let's go back. So after g4, again this idea, rook d6, rook h7 piling up. And then all you can really do is rook g6. Now this is a good move tactically because this bishop is here. This bishop is here and this pawn can't capture on g6. So that's the idea behind rook d6. You can kind of exploit that situation. Then upon rook h5, let's say rook takes g3, and then again takes here, and then boom. So Giri is all kind of trouble. So rook g4, bishop f6, check, and it looks like Giri's getting out of it, but the attack just keeps rolling. Rook g8 from Aronian, and this move right here, d6, 27 moves, Giri resigns. So this is some good stuff right here from Aronian. Yes, he's lost at the d6. The first move is if queen d6, just simply rook d1, winning the queen. If king takes d6, then just rook d8. And where do you want to go? King c7. Okay, and he just snatched the rook. The queen giving itself up is too much. So for instance, queen takes, rook takes, bishop takes, check. It's too much material. So simple as that. Very devastating attack. If of course he can't ignore the pawn. There's nowhere else for the queen to go. So the pawn must be captured by someone. So um, probably some home preparation there, but just brilliant tactics there by Aronian. Just he just really took it to Giri, who's known, very strong player. All the typical accolades, well prepared, etc. Blah blah blah. But Aronian took him out to an unfamiliar swimming location, and Giri drowned.